Many of us have been told by our trainers to sit deep in the saddle, but what does it actually mean and how to actually sit deeper in the saddle? Well, first of all, you want to sit close to the horse, but we don't want to be heavy. So I mean that we don't want to squash the horse or be a dead weight for the horse to carry. Like if you think that you would want to pick up a child from the floor that doesn't want to be picked up, they can make themselves really heavy, and we don't want to be like that. So we want to still carry ourselves. We don't want to be tense, like overly tense, but we want to have some tone. So we don't want to just like be as heavy as possible. So to figure out how to sit deeper in the saddle, we need to actually think what prevents us from not being able to sit deep in the saddle, because there could be many reasons for that, and we need to figure out what the reason is to fix it, because for different riders it might be different things. What's going to prevent us from sitting deep in the saddle and following the horse's movement, that you cannot move from your hips and from your pelvis. So you have maybe some restrictions, or you just don't know how to follow the horse's movement with your joints. So that's one reason why you cannot sit deep in the saddle. Another thing is that we need our core muscles to function properly to stabilize ourselves. So there are a lot of forces acting on our body that's coming from the horse, and we need to stabilize ourselves, and for that we need our core muscles. So the horse is kind of throwing you out of the saddle all the time, and with our core muscles we need to control our body to be able to sit close to the horse and to sit deep in the saddle. The next thing is, are you squeezing with your butt cheeks or with your thighs? Because if you are a little bit tense here, you're kind of pushing yourself out of the saddle. So that's one thing. Or are you pushing against the stirrups? Because if you are kind of trying to really push your leg down and keep your leg down, but you are pushing against the stirrup, then what happens is actually that you push yourself out of the saddle. The next thing to check is your position, especially the position of your pelvis. We want neutral. I have many videos about that, and I'll put some links down below. But if your pelvis is not in the correct position, maybe you are a little bit arching your back, then you kind of get into this fork seat and you can't really sit in the saddle, and you're kind of pushing yourself out of the saddle. And then one thing also is, are you breathing? So tips for you to be able to sit deeper in the saddle. First, I'm going to say this again, it's breathing. So try to think that you are breathing deeply into your sides, or maybe you can think of breathing deeply into your lower back, especially if you have this tendency that you're kind of arching your lower back a little bit too much, then that might be a really helpful tip for you. Or then you could even think that you are breathing all the way down to your legs and your toes. So you can really deepen your breathing, and it will help you to deepen your seat also, and let you sit deeper in the saddle. The next tip is, think that you are plugging your seat bones into the saddle. That's a really helpful mental image. Or another one is, especially if you tend to do this, that you arch your back and tip your pelvis forward, is that you think that you anchor your sacrum. So your sacrum is here, that you like drop an anchor down all the way to the floor, and it kind of, you drop it down each step, So that makes you, or that helps you to find a better position for your pelvis. And just overall, really think about the position of your pelvis. I have a video about that. I'll link it right somewhere. And next tip, concentrate on keeping your legs, especially your butt cheeks and your inner thighs, really relaxed. So really soft, really relaxed, because then that really allows you to sit more around the horse and more deeply. And then of course the core muscles. So I have a couple of videos on core muscles. Actually, I have many many videos about how to use your core muscles and also how to train your core muscles. And I have many other helpful videos also, actually, for all improving all these things that we discussed earlier. So I'll put some links down below so you can check these videos also. But yeah, the most important thing is to remember to breathe, and I think I'll see you in the next video then. Bye!